Good morning. Welcome to News Insights. I am Victory, and today we'll be talking about Kemi Badenoch and everything that she has achieved. Engineer Kingsley, please can you shed more light on this Kemi Badenoch? I don't think I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Kemi Badenoch. Yeah,
Badenoch.
she's the leader of the Conservative Party in UK at this time. Okay. Chances are that when they win election, she could become the prime minister. So that's a great feat. Okay, for somebody who was born there, raised up in Nigeria, I think until she was at the age of 16 before she left again. Okay, so but it's been in the news since that she's not a kind of showing that affinity or being an ambassador of Nigeria, in the UK for a Nigerian who is occupying such a exalted position. Okay, but what we are now also looking at is that she was elected to do a job and she has to do the job first. Okay, and you can't decide for somebody what the person would be or what the person should do, because Sunak, the last prime minister whose origin is from Indian, strongly associated. Yes, exactly. He was always talking about in India too. But you don't think Kemi will eventually do the same? Sunak experience in Nigeria, in India, might not be the same with India, might not be the same with Kemi's experience in Nigeria and with Nigeria. Do you understand? So I think we should give her a break to do what she thinks she should do. Let me tell you, a lot of people are angered by many things we do not know, and they have personal experiences that we didn't have. Okay, her childhood, she said she was living in fear, and all these were predicated by Nigeria, that it was immersed in corruption. Means she's been politically educated even as a child to realize that her fears and the insecurity that was pervading the land was as a result of corruption in the land. And she could also choose entirely not to be ambassador of that corruption, since what she feared so many years ago is even getting worse today. Do you understand? We can't, and our calling on her to do those things appears to be like image laundering. It's like we're trying to use her to wash us. Yes, we shouldn't be demanding it. To be honest with you, we shouldn't be demanding it.
So in essence, her reasons are very valid.
Of course, her reasons will always be valid. You can't even change it anyway. It's her opinion and it's her reason, and it's her.
That's true. Mr. PK, do you have something to say?
Yes, I do. Kemi, in her right, deserve to hold her opinion in the way she wants it to be. Number one, she's a conservative. She doesn't believe in this immigration system where people are trying to go from the, will I call it the low area to the high area, as we look it to be. But it's not actually like that. The reason people are moving is because the one we call the low area have refused to self-develop. And we keep blaming colonialism and even right now neo-colonialism, which we know that is there. But having said that, she has made her position known. She said she doesn't want to identify with processes that are corrupt. She has said, so that's what she said. The election that brought these people to limelight or to position is all fraudulent, and she doesn't want to identify with that. The overtures they are making to her, I think one of the first person that started making overtures to her was this Abike Dabiri. Then the vice president, they've been trying to identify with her. Don't forget, during the time of Sunak, she was I think something like a minister equivalent to, and she was highly thought to even come up as a leader of the conservative at that time before those ones came up, But she holds her view, and Nigerians also don't want to change. Nobody doesn't want to identify. Look, it comes to Nigeria.
So you're saying that if Nigerians change, or if she will want to identify.
She has said so several times. In fact, recently she took off 1 week break from work and came to bury her grandfather in Nigeria. Yes, she comes to Nigeria. She's not ashamed to be named a Nigerian. But she said that she doesn't want to identify with the government because their processes and anybody that look at what is happening to.
Aside from this statement that she has made, aside from not wanting to associate with Nigerian government,
Yes.
There was this time that she was talking and she said something. She said it in a way that made it look like, oh, I'm not among the blacks. At this point, she was not talking about Nigerians. She was talking about blacks, like blacks totally. And she said a statement. She made a statement that made it look like, oh, I'm not among these people. And then there was a white man with her and told her, so what? And he made another statement that made it look like, I'm trying to remind you that you're among them all. You speaking here does not mean you're a white person.
Because there's a way they think about blacks. If
So doesn't that make it...
Engineer Kizzy can attest to it that if black enter a place, they will leave it worse than they met it.
Engineer Kizzy, please, can you...
Yeah, I mean, let's just be honest with ourselves. In as much as we as black people have a lot of things working for us, talent and all that, okay? Tell me the nation that a black man is ruling today that can compete with, say, Western nation in terms of technology, in terms of economy, in terms of electoral processes, in terms of administration. Okay, because we want to eat our cakes and have it. Yeah. You want to be corrupt and be identified and say, oh, my best friend is that person who is not corrupt. But people say, tell me your friend, and I will tell you who you are. So when people do not want to identify with us, we just need to do the right thing. I keep saying it. Blacks are probably the most talented all over the world. Okay? I think we have intelligence across board, whether you're a white man, black man, Asian, and all that. Yes. Okay? I do not believe in that supremacy of any particular race. But when it comes to administration and treating ourselves right, doing our own thing, like you said, the colonialism was there, the neocolonialism is still there, but we have capacity to truncate it. Let me tell you, a lot of people have conquered it. Go to Singapore today.
Exactly.
Go to Singapore today. You understand me? So a lot of people have conquered it. And we could choose our own governance style. If we say this democracy we don't like. China is one of the most prosperous countries in the world. They don't practice democracy. Okay? So we should not be running a corrupt process and think people who
come and
align with us. That is image laundering. I will now tell them, oh, you are supposed to...
Can you shed more light on this image laundering?
Yes, good. You want Kemi... Did you hear that the election that brought Kemi to power, in quote, that there was ballot snatching?
Obviously not.
Did you see them change the result and upload a different one on our own IREV, in quote?
Or they say go to court.
Or they say go to court. Or snatch it with power and go to court. Or did you see any section of people preventing certain section of people not to be voted for, like it happened in Lagos? They were telling certain people, no, you have to vote this party or you will not be allowed to vote. Meanwhile, Kemi, a Yoruba woman, is in UK and being voted for.
The nepotism that is happening right now. Tribalism. Kemi have been able to get to...
You understand? So we should entrench a process. When we do that, we won't be begging Kemi to come and identify. We won't even remember her.
She won't be the person that
we won't even remember her.
Let me tell you.
Because she's too inconsequential. What's the population of Nigeria?
Exactly.
Over 200 million people.
Exactly.
UK are barely 60-something million. Who would be bigger than them? Who would be bigger than them?
Look. Hakim Olajuwon, don't forget he's a Nigerian. He didn't grow up in America. He grew up here. His talent was discovered here before he went to America. Have you ever seen him identify with Nigeria?
No.
Masai Ujiri is the head chairman of president of Toronto Raptors. He started Giant of Africa in Nigeria, where we were still in school in ABU Zaria. He went to ABU Zaria. His father is Edo, is his mother that is Kenyan. Both parents, I think, still live in Nigeria. He started Giant of Africa in Nigeria. That's why when Toronto Raptors won the NBA league, he brought it to Zaria to go and meet his coach, Oliver B. Johnson, an American who trained him. Now, most of everything that they do in Giant of Africa is large. They don't do it in Nigeria. They're taking it to Rwanda. They're taking it to Cameroon. They're taking it to South Africa.
Is supposedly the Giant of Africa.
Nigeria is supposedly the Giant of Africa. The head of NBA Africa is not from Nigeria. Nigeria has no other country will I say in the world, if I'm not mistaken, has players in the NBA, apart from real Americans, than Nigeria. But most of them, they don't want to identify with Nigeria. Either of Nigerian descent or they were recruited here to the NBA. Most of these people, because everything here is politics. Everything here is, you are truncated. You are, I mean, that's why most of the players, football players, they don't want to play for Nigeria.
And you see that even during the Olympics, most Nigerians represented other countries.
Other countries representing Nigeria.
And they did so well.
Yes.
So this idea of blaming anybody who is already successful in Nigeria in not telling us about our corruption, like the video said the other day, they almost roasted him.
Yes.
In not telling us about our bad economy in the name that, oh, we don't wash our linen outside.
Right.
Our linens are already outside. You understand?
It's better for us to watch.
It's better to wash it than to keep it dirty. We are better off washing it than keeping it dirty. So I think the government of the day should rise up to the occasion and say, no, next election, it will be free and fair. Not even, let's not wait till 2027. We have so many
Elections that are coming up.
off-cycle elections coming.
Yes.
We have so many by-elections coming.
States.
Let's just say, oh, this time around,
Let's get it right.
and we are going to allow the electorate
The
to
most popular
determine,
person,
yes. Let the electorate determine the winner. Let's do that. I am an advocate of electoral process as a starting point, because when you elect people, you give them power and you give them trust. There is an element of control you have on them. You can't call back the president easily. You can't impeach him easily. So the electoral process bringing him to power has to be the people's wish. It has to be people's prerogative.
So when they say they're not doing it again, you know it's because they don't want.
So the people should even do it again, because if you choose somebody, you should allow him rule you. When you sow a seed, you should reap what you sow. So when you elect someone without looking at the person's record, if the electoral process is fair, it's only fair that you be allowed to be ruled by that person. Even impeachment, I'm not in support of it. If the person won legitimately, I'm not in support of it, because you can't sow and not want to reap.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. There was Cain and Abel, right?
Yes.
Now Cain brought his food stuff to offer to God.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Yeah.
Abel brought an animal to offer, and God accepted Abel's sacrifice. And Cain was angry. What did God tell Cain? God told Cain that if you did well, I would have praised you. Then he told him, he said, sin lieth at the door. What he meant was that there's an offering to redo it and do it for a better time.
Yes.
But he didn't do that. What he went to do, he now went to kill his brother. That's what we are trying to do.
And that's exactly what is happening. Rather than, this lady didn't say, oh, I'm not a Nigerian, or I don't come to Nigeria, or I will never associate with myself. He said, I will not be a PR
for you guys.
For Nigeria. I will not be a PR for a corrupt process.
Exactly.
I will not be a face of a corrupt process. Leave Kemi out. Too many celebrities, call them to come and do something for certain government agency. They will tell you no. They will tell you no. Because call them to advertise your product. They will tell you, are you sure what you say this product does is what it does? Because if you say this soap washes clothes in this manner, and I put my face on it, when people use the soap and it doesn't do that,
me. The way you paint the product.
So that's what Kemi fought for her position.
Yes.
She have fought through the process.
Who helped her?
So she doesn't want to be identified with our own process.
No.
And I don't think we should force her. Let me tell you, there's never a time you should control another person's desire, what the person wants to do. When you become a prime minister or the leader of opposition party in the UK or leader of a conservative party in the UK, you could choose to do what you like. Kemi has chosen to do what she thinks is okay.
And she has worked enough to be where she is.
She could change tomorrow.
Yes.
We want somebody else to change. Meanwhile, we don't want to change. The process, look at the Edo election. Look at the Ondo election. Look at other elections. Look at the FCC. Have you ever heard that CIA is pursuing someone that is in America for months? EFCC pursued or tried to arrest Yaya Bello for months inside.
He went to EFCC.
Exactly. Thank you. I never heard things like that.
A wanted person went to EFCC and he was allowed to go.
They invited the president-elect Trump.
They said he came with governor, that he came in the manner that they didn't expect.
Can you imagine? What kind of thing is that?
This has been very interesting. Unfortunately, we do not have enough time. Thank you very much for viewing this segment. We'll be right back.